She needs to stop using taxpayer dollars to stonewall every attempt at getting these discrepancies in the system public, at getting these discrepancies in the system investigated. And candidly, the excuses are almost too numerous to track. I have to have them on a whole separate piece of paper here. I'll be glad to walk through these. Let's see. First, she falsely claimed that the counties already had access to this mismatched data. She then went on to blame her predecessor for not setting up a matching system. This from a woman who has, first of all, has been in office for 2 years and campaigned on undoing everything that Ken Blackwell did and being the complete opposite of how Ken Blackwell was when he was in office. 2 years later, she's now blaming her predecessor for the fact that she can't or won't provide this information. After she lost in court, she said last week that she would voluntarily provide this information to the county boards of elections. About 6 hours later, she filed in the U.S. Supreme Court to block and overturn the decisions in the lower federal court. She then turned around and claimed that she needed more time. She has claimed that voters would be suppressed. She blamed her predecessor again. She claimed that the boards can't use this data, which is wrong. She claimed that her office was not required to do the checks anyways, which is wrong. She blamed her predecessor again. She falsely complained that the process would create too much chaos and confusion, which, had she been doing her job all along, this wouldn't be an issue to begin with. And really the latest remarkable excuse was given to us last night when and that is the fact that now her tech staff, her IT staff, could not possibly comply with this request, with getting this information out to the boards of elections, because they are busy fixing a security breach inside the Secretary of State's office. I can't help but wonder whether or not that is a latest excuse, or whether in fact there was a real security breach in the Secretary of State's office. Today I'm asking the Secretary, I'm asking for two things. Number one, we are calling on the U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate the security breach, the alleged security breach in the Secretary of State's office. This is a federal election, and if this is a breach, as Jennifer Brunner as Jennifer Brunner claims, then we need to investigate every angle. We need to investigate, was it an internal breach or was it an external breach? We need to investigate, along with the Highway Patrol, along with the Secretary of State's office. The U.S. Attorney's Office needs to investigate what information was compromised, how did they break in, and who was responsible, and ultimately hold those people accountable. Because this is yet another example of a situation when it becomes public, it puts the confidence of the voters at risk. It undermines the integrity of the election system, and people begin to wonder whether or not Election Day is going to result in a tabulation of the honest, legal votes that are cast in Ohio. So we are calling on the U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate, and we're also renewing our request yet again to the Secretary of State to do her job, to do what she promised to do last week, and to comply with 2 federal orders and nearly a dozen judges to provide this information to the county boards of elections. The Democrats have rolled out the same sorry, pathetic excuses of voter suppression, of somehow this is going to be result in disenfranchisement. You can take my word that it won't, but don't rely on that. Go back and read what the courts have said. The courts have said clearly in the federal court circuit, in the Court of Appeals, said that not a single voter would be disenfranchised by providing a system of validating questionable registrations. And in fact, they went on to say that Ohioans would have greater confidence that their votes were not being canceled out by fraud if this process and this system were put in place.